right, all you moviegoers out there, welcome back to the Indy Radio Arcade. And apparently the announcer who started off this show was right. Apparently Under Siege 3 has been in development for well over 11 years, and not to mention there was a picture of Steven Seagal as a sea captain who looked like Captain Obvious. So I'm not sure if that movie's coming out or not, but I think my idea is a lot better. I don't care what any of you guys out there say, my idea was a little bit better. And plus, to see Killer Cross fighting, I guess, Steven Seagal on the top of a bus, yeah, you can't beat that. You really can't beat that. If only Dennis Hopper could be in it, but I digress, ladies and gentlemen, because now it's time for us to go into another thrilling edition of the 3MR. And the 3MR we have up on the plate for this week is a classic Christmas movie considered by all, only known as Die Hard. And the meat and potatoes for this classic Christmas movie, and yes, it's a Christmas movie because it takes place during Christmas, folks, is the fact that John McClane, who would visit his wife, and $2 on Christmas Eve would join her at her Christmas party at the headquarters known as Nakatomi Plaza, which I've been getting wrong for years, only for a whole bunch of terrorists to come there to try to rob the place and hold every single one of them hostage. And John McClane would try to spring into action to save everybody in Nakatomi Plaza. And with those meat and potatoes out there, folks, what did I like about this movie? Well, first of all, seeing the fact that it's a change of pace of the traditional Christmas movies that are out there, the fact that it's a real Christmas movie that I can watch during the holiday season. Cause nothing says 'tis the season than seeing Bruce Willis in a movie where he's trying to save people from a giant oversized tower that features Carl Winslow from Family Matters. Yeah, as a matter of fact, usually I would save this as the second part to mention during the movie, but yeah, let's get into it right now, folks. The one main thing that I loved about this film was the people who were also in this film as well. Because look at the cast. Look at the cast of people. Not only you had Paul Gleason, who was actually a part of not only All My Children, the principal in the Breakfast Club, Trading Places, Van Wilder, and would even revive his role as the principal from the Breakfast Club during the classic movie of Not Another Teen Movie. And the fact that he was in on the joke of his whole being a bad principal or a mean principal during that movie, not bad. And you also had William Atherton, who played the cocky reporter during this movie, known as Richard Thornburg, which I do believe during one of my school projects, a friend of mine went by that name, and I just now got the reference. And he would also be featured in Biodome and Ghostbusters as Walter Peck. Now, why did I almost say Ghostbusters? I'll never understand. But to continue on the litany list of great stars during this said film, folks, you also had the late, great Alan Rickman during this said film, who played the main bad guy that went by the name of Hans Gruber, who would go on later to become none other than the guy who is in all of the Harry Potter films as Professor Snape. I could be wrong, I might have to ask my sister on that one because I've never seen the series, but yeah, definitely a great actor and played one of the greatest villains of all time next to Dennis Hopper when he was in Speed. Yeah, a great comparison, I know, Maestro. But besides all of the great actors that were featured in this film, another thing that I loved about this film was all of the action sequences that took place during this said film. And not to mention, and before I forget them, the fact that Bruce Willis was able to star in this film, another thumbs up in my book that he was a part of it. But the music that was included really did set the scene for the said film. And not to mention, they did play a holiday song at the end of the movie as well to top things off. And not to mention, the sequel for this film was also known as Christmas Movie 2. So yeah, it's gonna be a wonderful holiday season at my house while watching these said movies. And with all those things that I liked about this film, folks, the one scene that I loved about this film above anything else was the phrase that would live and stand the test of time and would even give it its own video game. The phrase that Bruce Willis would be able to utter after Hans Gruber would say, "So you think you're some form of cowboy, do you?" And he would answer back with the greatest line in movie history, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker." Now, granted, we can't say that last part on the air here, folks, due to FCC regulations, but either way, it's a phrase I usually say when I blow up helicopters or take out bad guys, or it's been used in just about everything that I do when I do something real epic before something real bad happens. And Bruce Willis has been using it in every single movie since this one. And for those who are wondering out there, Nakatomi Tower still does exist out there, out in Los Angeles. It's pretty cool. And seeing the fact that we don't know how to review movies along the lines of Siskel and Ebert or any of those other famous movie reviewers you know of out there, we say this: if you want to watch an action-packed movie that takes things to another level as the movie progresses and changes up the Christmas movie lineup in your very home every single year that you watch it, that features an action movie star that's been doing it better than anybody else for well over 30 years since this movie came out, then I recommend you go out there and watch that flick. And by the way, folks, this movie will be airing on TV around Christmas. I kid you not when I say this. It's on every channel that we've been looking through for the past couple of weeks, and I can't wait to watch it again. And I guess with that said, folks, we might as well head back into this music, and when we return, we'll be back with more Indie Radio Arcade right after a word from our sponsor. So stay tuned.